Oyo is always first. That is why outside of the Amazon studios in Lagos, the first state the Amazons will be visiting is Oyo. The first university in Nigeria, the University of Ibadan. The first skyscraper building in Africa, the Cocoa House, Ibadan. The first television in Africa, the NTA, Ibadan. And the first stadium in Africa, the Liberty Stadium, Oyo State, the pace setter of the 36 states in Nigeria. Oyo is always first. That is why outside of the Amazon studios in Lagos, the first state the Amazons will be visiting is Oyo. My co-anchors are here. Bimbo is from Oyo.
Yeah, so
I see where you get your individualism and character from, Bimbo.
I am a patient. That's the only way to say it. That's the best way to say it. I'm amazing because I'm from Ibadan. Go figure.
And
Where are you
Dolapo?
Well, I'm from Oyo State, proudly Ondo.
Oh, what did you guys do?
We do a lot.
What, like nothing?
When we get there.
No, but seriously, the first television station in Africa, the NTA Ibadan, the first skyscraper building,
A lot of first.
Cocoa House Ibadan. Yes. I didn't know that Ibadan had such a rich and pioneering status, not only in Nigeria but in Africa.
Yes, we do. We're amazing.
Aisha, it's going to be more
Honestly, look at it. It is amazing that one state has achieved all these things, and it's really in Africa.
Is it true that it's actually the largest, one of the largest, or is it the largest city in Nigeria?
Yes, it is.
And then there's this market, I've never been there. What is it called? Since you're from Ibadan, what is it called?
There's so many markets, you have to get
There's a big one. What's
There's a
very,
Dugbe,
very...
there's
Oh, yes,
Baggy.
that's the one I remember.
Dummy. I call it dummy.
Dugbe and Baggy. I mean, Ibadan people, you know, very agrarian, they call them. You know, they are farmers, they are traders. Ibadan people, they understand the power of, you know, and they are also very vocal.
Yeah, is that why they call them Ibadan Elekebu?
Wow.
Yes,
It's because you know what it means. You know what let me explain it to you. It's a gift. It's a talent. It's a gift of God. We have the power of speech. We understand how to put words together. We're amazing.
No, and then
No, you know, I find them the few Ibadan people that I've interacted with and everything, I find them very funny. Number one, and then number two, I find them very. You can't, like you said, you can't have the last word with an Ibadan person.
We're
For every question, they have an answer.
We're extremely intelligent.
True. But then in Ibadan, you know, with such a rich culture, such a rich background, Ibadan has come, well, Oyo State has come so far in Nigeria, but so far behind. Why is that so?
I think because at the end of the day, we are allowed in certain things, but not in advertising ourselves. Does that
Really?
make sense? Yes.
No, it doesn't.
In the sense that an Ibadan man is, okay, the things we're particular about. You're particular about your lifestyle, the way you live, the food you eat, the things that you see around you, family, friends, but not about announcing. Imagine, a lot of people don't even know that Ibadan has achieved so much. Because we don't put it every time we say Ibadan, oh, first university, first this, like a lot of other states would do.
We are still talking about the pace-setting state in Nigeria, Oyo. The first television station in Africa, the first university in Nigeria, the University of Ibadan, the first skyscraping building in Africa, the Cocoa House, and the first stadium in Africa, the Liberty Stadium, now Obafemi Awolowo University. We will be talking with the CEO, the Chief Executive, and the Executive Governor of Oyo State, Senator Oyo Ajimobi, when we come back. You're watching Amazons.
I think in our own pyramid of development, you know, like you have Maslow's hierarchy of need, the state also has hierarchy of needs. And in our own hierarchy of needs, which we call pyramid of development, we have as the base peace and security, safety of life and property.
From being a war camp in pre-colonial era in 1829 to the largest metropolitan geographical area as a district council in 1961 and municipal government in 1989, the city of Ibadan has an illustrious history. Located 128 kilometers inland northeast of Lagos and 530 kilometers south of Abuja, Ibadan has been a transit point between the coastal region and the areas to the north of the country. Covering 1,190 miles or 3,080 kilometers, Ibadan has a population of about 3 million inhabitants, making it the third most populous city in Nigeria after Lagos and Kano. A very lively city of highly industrious people with decent taste for the good life, Ibadan is also the home of amala, a delicacy which is believed to be savored with more relish only in Oyo town, from which Oyo State, as presently constituted, derives her name. More than the good taste of its delicacies, Ibadan represents the cradle not only of Nigerian but West African and indeed African modernity. From the first television station in Africa, through the premier university, to the Liberty, now the Obafemi Awolowo Stadium, Ibadan has a long list of firsts to its name. However, the status of the ancient city had for a long time remained only glorified by its rich history, as most of its infrastructure remained largely unkempt. But a visit to the city recently revealed a total transformation, from the beauty of its green parks and roundabouts, which are met by both newly built and rehabilitated roads. A first-time visitor is simply overawed. Lush green gardens and parks inundate the city, making it a choice for tourists. The city landscape is also reinvigorated by increased structures of various financial institutions and banks, angling to cash in on expected economic boom. Indeed, Ibadan is truly modern now, thanks to the transformation agenda of the man at the helm as governor of Oyo State, Senator Oyo Ajimobi.
Welcome back to Amazons. Today we are outside of the studios for the very first time outside of Lagos, and the very first visit to the pace-setting state of Oyo State, Ibadan actually, where we are hosting, or perhaps the executive governor is hosting the Amazons. We said before you came, sir, your excellency, that Ibadan is a pace setter. First television station in Africa, first university in Nigeria,
first skyscraper,
Cocoa House, a lot of firsts, yeah. Your Excellency. You're welcome to Amazons.
It's my pleasure to be here.
But we look back and we say a lot of firsts, but those infrastructure are still as they were when they were first.
Oyo State was a pace setter, as you have highlighted. And you now say, what are the plans we have to restore it to that role of a pace setter? I think in our own pyramid of development, like you have a Maslow's hierarchy of need, the state also has hierarchy of needs. And in our own hierarchy of needs, which we call pyramid of development, we have as the base peace and security, safety of life and property. And so far, we have been able to restore Oyo State to a peaceful state. In fact, in the Federation today, it's one of the most peaceful states in Nigeria. The next level of our pyramid of development is infrastructure. Infrastructure meaning roads, meaning facilities. And so far, I don't know from which side you came into Ibadan city, there have been noticeable changes.
Very true.
You know, it's cleaner, better structured. The roads are now being reconstructed. We are dualizing all major entries and outlets in and out of Oyo State. If you look around you now, you see dualized roads, Jericho axis, Eleyele, Challenge, Dugbe. As we are doing this in Ibadan, which is the capital of the state, we are also doing the same thing in all the major towns. We are doing it in Ogbomoso, we are doing it in Okeogun, Iseyin, we are doing it in Oyo, and we are extending it to Ibarapa. So we are reconstructing or constructing, expanding the road infrastructure. Apart from that, the environment in itself, we are beautifying it. We are landscaping. We are providing curbs. We are providing shoulders for vehicles. We are providing bus stops. And we are providing gardens. So in other words, in terms of infrastructural development, as far as roads and the environment is concerned, I think we've done quite well.
Yeah, so the urban renewal, really, it's something to commend you for.
Okay.
But how did you get the people of Ibadan? You know, Ibadan was tagged as, you know, one of the dirtiest states.
I resent that.
I grew up in
I
Ibadan.
resent that.
No, Bimbo, no.
I am Ibadan, so I resent
Let's be factual about it. No, let's not argue about it.
Yeah.
I just want to know, how did you get the people to embrace the culture of cleanliness and hygiene, you know, in such a way that you now come into Ibadan, it's inviting, it's attractive, it's beautiful. How did they let go of, you know, dumping waste on the streets, the away cause, and, you know, pure water and all of that?
I think people must know that the Oyo State, consisting of all those zones, Ibadan, Ibarapa, Ogbomoso, Oyo Town, Okeogun axis, they are generally very fashionable, clean and neat people. And if you recollect, there is a saying that Oyo kì í ṣe bí bàbá ẹnìkan, ají ṣe bí Ọ̀yọ́ láàrí. That is a reflection of our fashionable disposition. Where when we dress, you will know that this is a Yoruba man. If you look at our agbadas, our barigas, you know that we are fashionable. And we are also very neat people, very clean and neat people. But you see, sometimes the leadership is very, very important. And I often said it, a leader will take people to where they want to go. But a good leader will take people to where they ought to be. So when you come in, the propensity for people is to want to do whatever they want. You know, this culture of impunity. But the moment you have good leadership, giving direction, our people will easily follow. So when we came in, we saw the place, they call it the dirtiest place in Africa. They called it. Now they don't call it that. So even when Bimbo was saying she resented it, for me, yes, we resented it, and now we are making changes. And now I make bold to say that it's one of the neatest places in Nigeria today. So I think through leadership, to answer your question, through leadership, through living by example. You see, when people know that you are serious about something, they will follow you. Sure. And we introduced environmental sanitation weekly, in which I participate all the time. We go out, they see me taking shovel and cleaning the gutter. They will say, this guy is serious. And then we provided avenues for them to put their waste, their refuse. We collect it. We are spending a lot of money on refuse collection.
You have a vision for this state. You want to see it in a particular place. You're passionate about it. Doesn't that conflict with time with family?
No. I think before I became governor, I've had a blueprint of what I want to do. And in getting there, don't forget my wife and I, we've been married for 33 years. The day we got married, it was on a Saturday. And on Sunday, we moved back to Lagos. We moved to Lagos, and I went to the office on Monday. And she said she would like to have a honeymoon. I said, look, there is no better honeymoon than bringing money home. And I decided to go to work. So she's very used to my workaholic disposition.
It's really interesting speaking with you, Your Excellency, but we will be taking a break. When we come back, we'll be talking more to you about the people of Oyo State. After the break, you're still watching Amazons from the government house in Ibadan.